for it, find it, make it your own. It's the Get Thrifty Podcast.
Hey Thrifties, welcome back to the Get Thrifty Podcast, brought to you by ARC Thrift Stores. ARC Thrift Stores is a nonprofit thrift store chain, and I am your host, Maggie Civic, and we are all about sharing everything that has to do with shopping secondhand. So if you're part of our unique thrift culture, please contact us. We would love to promote your business and your social channels and share your stories and advice with our listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I love this side of the country. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Elizabeth to the show. Elizabeth Daniel is a Kansas-based artist, vintage decor enthusiast, and passionate thrifter who believes the best homes are filled with character, creativity, and a little bit of weirdness. We couldn't agree more. Through her business, she creates and sells fully styled thrifted room designs each week, proving that beautiful, one-of-a-kind spaces don't require big budgets or brand new furniture. A lifelong maker who has explored everything from glass blowing and ceramics to silversmithing and wood carving, Elizabeth brings an artist touch to every vintage find. She loves uncovering the stories of craftsmanship behind secondhand art and decor, and if she doesn't know how something was made, she's determined to find out. Whether she's hunting for original artwork, rescuing quirky treasures, or decorating for a life-size Lorax, we have to ask. Elizabeth inspires others to shop secondhand, save money, and keep pieces from landfill. And P.S., she's also, quote, filling the void, cosplaying as a Dolly reseller because the world needs much more of that, and we could not agree more. Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are jazzed. First of all, you have impeccable content. It's so easy to just go down the rabbit hole, but we're going to back up. Let's start with your social so people can follow along as they listen today. How do we find you on the gram and TikTok?
Okay. On Instagram, I am Elizabeth Daniel Art and Decor, all one word. It's very long. And on TikTok, I am also Elizabeth Daniel Art and Decor, I think. Oh my gosh, I need to look that up. And then on Facebook, I'm Elizabeth Daniel Art and Decor, but spaced out, not as all one word. I'm the same thing everywhere. It's just some of them require spaces and some don't. But the main one where you can really find things, and this is where I actually sell things, and it's like my main base, is a Facebook group called Elizabeth Daniel Decor. And that's just Elizabeth Daniel Decor.
Super easy. And
I'm sorry,
I noticed
that's so much.
No. But if we Google you, we can find you too. So it shouldn't be too hard. And then you do a really good job of linking every account that you have. So if you guys go to Instagram, you can find a link to the private Facebook group to sign up because she asked some really fun questions. But now that we know how to find you there, let's back up and rewind.
Okay.
Kansas girly, tell us how you found secondhand. How did you get here?
That is such a
loaded question.
Yeah, because I've never not been here. I've been an artist my whole life. I remember when the very first thrift store opened up in my town, and I was so excited to go. And my mom at that time was just like, why do you want to go to the thrift? What do you need? And I'm like, I don't know what I need, Mom. Who knows?
It's an adventure.
I mean, she had been taking me garage sailing forever. So really, actually, when we say thrifting, to me, that is like an umbrella term. So it's garage, it's any kind of secondhand shopping. Now, obviously, I frequent thrift stores, but I would say I really got my start at garage sales.
And Kansas has that vibe, right? It's lots of open areas, beautiful weather. The summer's nice. People haul their stuff out to the front yard. Walk us through a little bit of that scene.
It's this magical thing called a citywide, and pretty much all these small town communities are doing them this time of year. It'll go through pretty much early fall, and every single weekend, if you're looking them up online, like I am, you can find a citywide within your probably 50-mile radius in the heartland. This is probably more states than Kansas, but I'm specific to where I'm located. I can always find a citywide within 50 miles for every weekend from spring to fall. And I love it. I live for it. So that's that. I mean, and it's amazing. Like it'll be They're all different. I mean, sometimes it's young people getting rid of their kid clothes. And when I was in that stage of life, those garage sales came in clutch because everything in my life has been secondhand for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I love like an old lady with tables and tables full of her history,
Yes.
and like the junkier, the better, the more talkative she is, the better. Like I want to hear,
You want the
what is your
story.
story?
Yes.
Yes. Why do you have this? Why are you getting rid of this? What are you replacing it with? I just want to know it all. So
Mhm.
I love it.
And Kansas is ripe for it. I mean,
Yes.
we really consider Kansas like a sister state to Colorado, very similar vibe. You know, you guys have a little more wide open space than us, but
Mhm.
it's very much this reselling and, you know, garage sale, Facebook marketplace, whatever it is, people are
Mhm.
open to that vibe and into it, which I absolutely love. So tell us how you turned into being one of the premier places on Facebook, a private group that sells out every week. How did this happen?
I would love to say that I had this all planned,
A
but
master plan, yeah.
I did not. I really have been like falling backwards for years now. And like somehow I keep landing on my feet. Initially I started a group
Mhm.
because I just kept seeing all these postings for like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen them too. Some friend of yours is like, hey, I have a lot of stuff to get rid of. If you join this group, I'm going to do a garage sale in there. And I was like, hey, I could do that. I have so much old art laying around and decor I'm not using.
Mhm.
But what it actually did was gathered people in a place. And so then as an artist, I realized like, oh, I could just like post what I'm doing in here. I can post anything I want. I can go live and teach art classes in here. I can do
Yeah.
anything and everything. And it holds the people in a spot for you. So like I feel like a lot of times on Instagram, somebody will follow you, but then they might not see your content for another
Yeah.
month after that. But a
Mhm.
Facebook group is a really organized way to keep your base together. I really think more people should start one. It's been great.
Yeah. And such a community-based effort. So talk about the
Mhm.
format because this happens weekly. People can count on it. You have like
Yes.
regulars. Talk
I
to
will
that.
say in everything, really, consistency is key. And ever since the beginning, so this kind of snowballed. I mean, you asked how it started. It started with, I think there was 123 members at the end of day one. I don't know why I remember that number, but I do. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I mean, 'cause at that time, oh my gosh, 123 people want to buy my art. That's amazing. I was so excited. And then they told their friends and they told their friends, and I started sharing it locally. And so then I started thinking, I need to make this more organized. I need to post at a certain time of day. That way it's not crowding everyone's news feed all week long. Back then, we were not like posting on Instagram 3 times a day. Back
Yeah.
then, I was thinking, oh, I don't want to crowd their news feeds. That'd be annoying. So that's where I started doing the whole 4 to 6 timed sale. And so I drop the photo at 8 a.m., the photo meaning the big vignette, it has everything in it. And then I come back, and this is all on Fridays, and I come back from 4 to 6 and I break everything down and post it individually with 2 minutes in between. And I've been doing that consistently for 8 years. And I've never changed that format
I mean, that
ever.
is such a commitment too. What happens if there's like a soccer game or like what happens? Your
I
husband
have
jumps
gotten
in.
whole surgeries. What I do is I plan ahead, and sometimes I have to do several weeks in one week, and that's
Sure.
a in a crazy amount of work, but I do several weeks in one week if I have to. And then I keep it all in my phone, and then I'm scheduling ahead. But the show must go on. I do see it as show business. And I mean, not to talk about Dolly too early, but I do see it as a show. I'm an art vintage entertainer, and I want to make sure that there is something for people to watch on Fridays every week, no matter
No
what's going
matter
on in
what.
my life.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's like tune in, you know, appointment television that we no longer get to
Mhm.
have. So it makes it a little more special. So really, let's talk a little bit about you being an artist. Did the art obviously came first? Does it inspire every vignette? Give us a little info on that.
Yeah, I would say the art came first, and it inspires every vignette in some way. I mean, every vignette is using all the principles of art, like
Mhm.
balance and color,
Sure.
repetition, and I'm never not thinking about that. So I would say the art influenced the vintage. And really what I wanted to do is sell my art. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And
Mhm.
so I do have a love of secondhand things and vintage. And actually I'll get into that later because it sort of opened up a whole idea of sustainability that now I keep in mind with very literally every decision I make as an artist and reseller. But it started as a way to sell my art, really. And I thought maybe my art will sell better if I build whole rooms around it so that people can see at least one way to decorate around my painting. And it worked.
It worked. I
It
mean, that's
worked.
incredible. Now, have you ever had anyone buy the entire thing and go, I'll take everything?
I've had people offer, but because of my format, it would be nearly impossible because I'm selling things individually and there's at this point 30,000 people in the group that are claiming. So to be first out of 30,000 on every item would
Would
be,
be
I don't,
impossible.
yeah, I don't think that'd be possible.
That is so crazy. Do you have that customer where you're like, so and so is here again? I know they're going to buy 12 things.
I have a few that I actually, it's so funny because in my head, I have little rooms built for them. And and really so many of them. And I kind of have an idea of like, oh, so and so's going to love this. And I
Ah,
get really excited,
I
like
love
hoping
that.
I'm right. Ooh, am I going to be right? Are they really going to claim this? And then a
Yeah.
lot of times I am. And then I can like hang up that whatever it is in their little home inside my head. And I'm like, all right, now what's next? What do they need next?
Wow. I mean, that
Yeah,
makes
it's
it so
fun.
much more fun because you're, envisioning. I love that. It makes it fun to shop when you know oh, so and so would totally dig this.
Mhm.
I've got to pick it up.
Yeah.
Where do you store it all?
Okay, that's a question I get a lot. But it's not that I don't have a lot, but this much stuff in a weekly picture, I'm actually getting rid of just a ton of it every
Wow.
week. So I really only have the same storage areas, which we did just move to get a little bit more storage space. So I have bigger storage areas now. But I've been operating this entire time basically just out of a garage. And it's because once I get things in, I'm moving them out and then I get new things in. So it's like it is hoarding, but it's like a revolving hoard. So it's never
Yeah.
the same. And I never really have to store that much of it. I think if my things like if it slowed down enough for me, that's when I'd maybe have to slow down.
Mhm.
Maybe, I don't know, or maybe I don't know what I'd do. But I haven't had to I haven't had to confront that issue.
Yeah, just buy a bigger
Yeah.
house and do more. Maybe you do
Yeah.
2 a week, you get the second garage and you can just
Yeah,
like
maybe. I don't know.
expand.
That'd be a lot of work.
How does your husband feel about it? I always like to ask that because, the spouse on either side, it's like either
Yeah.
they love it or they hate it. What's his
I mean,
thinking?
he's always been really supportive of everything I've ever done. I don't know. I don't want to get too gushy on here, but like
Ah,
really, even when the kids were little, he would just immediately, he's doing bath time and bedtime because I'm finishing a painting or I'm doing whatever out in the garage. I mean, we've always been a good team and I stayed home with them a lot. And, by the time he gets home from work, he wants that time anyway. So
yeah,
we've
yeah.
always like traded off a lot. And
Mhm.
well, when they were little and even now they're bigger and he's still supportive. He'll help me lift a couch if I ask him to.
Yeah, perfect. It's a team
Yeah.
effort. It's
Team
a
effort.
family affair.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I love that, your art is so special, but it really does like tie in with the vintage theme. So you kind of answered it, but like when you are starting to think about a vignette, are you like, oh, I could paint this to go with it? Or do you already have an existing paint project to go with it?
I would say both. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes I have the picture fully built and I'm like, nope, it's missing something. It's not pizzazzy enough. I have to do a painting right now to finish this out. I think it's more like I have a certain standard in each one of my photos of interest. And I don't know how to explain it better. That's it in a nutshell because there's no two of the same item in any of them, but I do have a standard of interest that I need to hit in each photo. And this is like a self-imposed set of rules, but I have to have like a wow factor.
Mm,
And I feel like if I can find enough where I don't do a painting that week and still have a plenty of wow factor, then I can take a break from painting that week. But I also, if it's just not there yet, I can push it forward with a painting.
wow. I
Yeah,
mean, such a fun process. So you must be a fast painter and you have shown like your
very
time
fast.
lapse of your kitchen pantry door. Love it. Obsessed.
Oh yeah, that's an old one, an oldie
I
but a goodie.
mean, so cool. So you talk about your process for painting because some people, need months, years to create.
Yeah, I guess I just have this like nothing is super duper valuable kind of mindset of it, or nothing's, I don't know, nothing's so special that I need to spend a ton of, I don't want to make that sound bad, but art is very much a process for me. And I have always worked really quickly.
Yeah.
It kind of like tipped off. Like there was this in it, I think it was 2012 in Wichita. I was working in a gallery and a friend found this artist competition and like signed me up. And it was what it was is a 20-minute painting competition. And there was
Wow.
20 artists. And they split us up in groups of 10, and each 10 did a painting for 20 minutes. And then at the end of it, the two top winners would like face off. And I was one of them. And I ended up winning the whole thing. And
That's
that
so
was
cool.
amazing. But I had nothing ready. And what you won was an art show. And so for 2 weeks, I painted. And then I had this art show. And like a lot of those sold out. And so it just sort of like proved to me, I guess, hey, you can do this. And
Yeah.
you don't need to overthink it. You can just put paint on canvas and press on. And I did. And that's kind of like when painting changed for me, I guess. My art changed a lot through that experience. And that's kind of when everything kind just, because my pictures are really the same way. They're not really a lot different than my paintings. I try not to overthink them too much, because I think if you start second guessing yourself, and I actually feel that way about decor in general and how people decorate, like you don't need to overthink it. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little long.
No, that's perfect. I'm writing all of like the things that I can highlight too, but don't overthink it. It's very important.
Yeah. Nothing's too precious. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it special. I mean,
Mhm.
on that note, though, have you ever gotten a picture of a client that bought a painting and like what they did with it? Is that meaningful? Is that rewarding to get?
Yes. Actually, I love those so much. I love getting pictures from people and seeing what they've done
Yeah.
with whatever item it was that I found.
Yeah. And you also do some upcycling a little bit. So I've seen a couple of your projects where, like the little creepy angels that you made them have like,
Oh,
chocolate
yeah.
shared.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, and that kind of goes back to my nothing pressure. If I just want to mess with it that week and want to do it and I get like a wild hair of an idea, I just do it. And like maybe no one's going to want it and maybe they will, but I just go ahead and do it anyway because it's, I don't know, what else am I
yeah,
gonna
why not? I mean, and
Yeah, why not?
you're selling out every single week. So
No one's stopping me.
yeah. I mean, do you see any signs of it slowing? And we're in this like weird, it feels like apocalyptic thrift time where it's like
Yeah.
people are obsessed.
I spent the first couple years that I did this and thinking like, okay, well, this has got to be the last week. Like, surely
It's
my
gonna
luck
slow down.
runs
Yeah.
out. Yeah. I mean, and at this point, no, at this point, I think as long as I want to keep doing it, I'll have people who are interested. I think I've built enough of a following now and built just real relationships with
Mhm.
a lot of people. And I think in large part, the reason why it keeps working so smoothly is because they care, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And it feels good to be shopping from a
Mhm.
small business. There's something about that, especially if you're decorating something new. And again, appointment TV. I think you're creating that, a sense of urgency, like feeling this. Are you seeing your clients, your customers get younger?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like there's always been a pretty good mix. I think being primarily on Facebook actually
Mhm.
gears me toward an older
Interesting.
crowd
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
that's who's on Facebook.
Sure.
But I also, I'll have a one-off video that goes kind of crazy on TikTok and get like 500 people that join
Mhm.
in a couple of days. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of younger. I don't know. So at this point, I don't know if I could really age range my group all that accurately.
Yeah.
Probably my age and above is more so than younger people, but
Sure. So tell us about the pickup process because this is a little bit of a controversy. You don't deal with the shipping, which I kind of love, unless it's like something special. Talk about that process and how you've been able to sustain that.
so actually I do ship a
Oh, you
lot.
will.
I ship, I would say a hard
Oh
85% of
my
it.
gosh. I was
Yeah.
like reading your comments about mostly a close range pickup, but no.
So only for large items.
Okay.
Large items are close range pickup, but smalls I am shipping everywhere. And most, if when you really look at my pictures, I've got 1 or 2 large items, and then the vast majority is smalls. And then
fun
rugs are easy to
knickknacks.
ship.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say I'm shipping most of it, but it's still, I mean, your question's still valid because people still ask all the time. You have people come into your house,
Yeah.
and you know, yes and no. Like I would say overall, I'm mostly delivering. So once we
Oh,
get down
nice.
to those items, it's just easier for me because I have so much going on all the time that like pickups, it's like actually, if you are one of my group members watching this, it's highly likely that I have forgotten you were coming on whatever day. And so my people know I'm really forgetful. So a lot of them will even remind me. But there's very few people who actually come to my house to pick up. And the ones who have been, I mean, at this point, we're friends. Like they've been buying
Yeah.
from me for 8 years. I've dropped off at their house probably at least once. They've picked up from me. I mean, if I'm letting you come to my house, then I
You have a
probably know
relationship. Yeah.
you. Yeah, at least somewhat through my group. I trust you enough to come. It's not like just a regular marketplace situation.
Yeah.
And like I said, okay, so 85% of the stuff that I'm selling, I'm shipping. I would say probably 12% I'm delivering. And then just the last few I'm having to either meet up with or they're picking up. So really in the scheme of things, it's not that many things that I'm doing any kind of meetup for or pickup. But
Share with us your process because everything is staged in front of your garage. Wild. How long does it take?
it actually doesn't take all that long. Actually, I think I'm done usually within, once I really get started good, I'm done in a couple hours. I do everything so fast. I don't
Wow.
know why I'm like that, but this is like really the only,
gift.
yes, this is like the only thing I can think of that I could do for a living and be happy doing because it
Wow.
changes every single week.
Every
I don't
week.
see what else I would have stuck to. Yeah, it changes every single week. I can do different art every single week. I have a different problem to solve every single week just because I'm working with different items
Yeah.
and I work fast. So, like within 2 hours, it's up, it's down, it's packed away. And then after that, it's a lot of like, I am having to like list every post, schedule it ahead of time. So, not to say the administrative side of it is done within 2 hours, but like
Sure.
the actual act of decorating my garage doors, that doesn't really take all that long.
Yeah. And it looks like a room. Every single one looks like a unique
Yeah.
room in
Mhm.
someone's home. It's wild. And you're avoiding pop-up markets, which are a pain. Difficult. You don't have to do any of that. It all just happens right there at home.
And actually, sometimes I'm a little bit sad about that because I love other people. I love a pop-up market. I want to like walk around and talk to people, but
Yeah.
it's so much work on top of what I'm already doing week to week that I do end up, I very few times will I pop up. And usually if somebody asks me, what I do is like show up with my painting supplies, or I'll face paint on people, or I'll do something else. I'll do something like art adjacent, but
Yeah.
I'm just not trying to bring half my garage anywhere.
Sure. Sure.
I just
And
don't
you're
need to.
one of the things I love about your content is you're an avid researcher too. So you kind of understand the background of these things. Talk about that a little bit.
I try. I don't know if I'd go right to the word avid because a lot of times I am just like, I mean, I'll look something up if I'm curious about it,
Yeah.
but I don't spend a ton of time looking up each item. And actually, I made a video about it not too long ago, but I've even had a situation where I sold a vase for $15 and then people in my comments were like,
What
Elizabeth
were you
Daniel,
thinking?
that's from the Neolithic period and it sold at the Chelsea auction house for 27,000. And I was
You're
like,
like,
oh,
oh, whoops.
should have looked that one up. Yeah, I mean, and of course, what something's worth. Like, yeah, sure, maybe, but
But
I don't
it's only
really
if someone buys it, if it's worth that much.
exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to like keep absolutely everything here for the next 6 months while I find the highest possible number buyer. That's like not why I'm doing this at all. But I do always encourage people, like, if you're super duper into vintage, you should
Yeah.
follow me because I'm a ding dong and I'm probably going to do that again. And you could probably get a really good deal with me just because I'm just not that interested in like look. I mean, I am to an extent. It's not that I'm not interested. I like the story and I like the history, but the volume with which I'm working doesn't really allow me to really get into the nitty gritty of each and every single piece. And overall, I'd say that's just not where my interest is. I would so much rather give you an amazing deal and make you happy.
I do want to
Mhm.
ask about other places that you source. You like thrift stores, but this is a lot to have to go and shop. How much time would you say you spend on sourcing each week?
So I don't actually go each week.
Oh,
Not even a little. Like I said, I love a citywide garage sale. So
mhm.
this weekend, great example. I went to two different towns, one on Friday, one on Saturday.
Ooh,
I
which
came
towns?
home. I went to Atchison on Friday, Atchison, Kansas. A lot of old houses, a lot of like cool stuff. And then I went to Perry, which is actually just 15 minutes away from me on Saturday. So Friday, Saturday are my big days. Last weekend I went to Weston, Missouri. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's like the cutest little town. Tons of like cute
Wait,
little
you can
antique
get all the
shops.
way to Missouri from
Oh
here?
yeah. I
Wow.
go all over. That's what I do. Yeah, I love it. And so I brought home 4 loads. I think I had 4 loads in my van.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's, I mean, and actually right now back there, I met with a lady this morning and picked up a couple of lamps and like, so I'm never not sourcing ever. Like
Mhm.
I'm always either at least looking on Marketplace, head to do a thrift store real quick if I have an extra 10 minutes wherever I'm at,
Sure.
planning for citywide garage sales and planning loads around that. But I mean, it's hard to put like a time on how much time I'm spending doing it because it's like all weekend
Like a
sometimes, you know?
lifestyle. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle. Yeah. But I was doing it before too. Like before I
Mhm.
was doing it for a living. Then I was just doing it for me.
Are the kids
But
into it? Like, are you finding as they get
yes
older?
and no. The younger one, yes. He has like
Sure.
actually I'm like maybe cultivating a problem because
Yeah.
he has a watch collection.
He's
He
going to
has a
be reselling online
yes.
before you know
Well,
it.
maybe he's not talked about resell at all yet, but right now he's collecting. And anytime he goes anywhere, like he's at my mom's house today, and he's like, "I'll know if anyone goes in my room, and don't sell any of my stuff,
Ah,
mom." He has like a fee. I've never even done that to him, but yeah, he's got several collections. And then my older one, he's more like, I'm looking for one specific thing, and if he doesn't find it, he gets a little discouraged. So I
yeah.
wouldn't say it's his favorite thing, but they both went with me on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. They
And I
like it
feel
well
like
enough.
young people are finding thrift. I mean, it really,
Yeah.
thrift talk is
Mhm.
real. What are
Oh,
you
yeah.
finding?
Yeah. My younger one, he actually recently he acquired a VHS
Oh,
player and a TV.
that's the
Like he's
gateway
got the whole
drug right
setup.
there. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And they're antiques. Well, they're not, but he calls them
No,
that.
you remember them from your
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
upsetting.
Yes.
Kids.
It's still funny.
Yeah, I have this summer intern right now. He's like, Maggie, you bought a VHS tape player. And, we think of like Be Kind, Rewind, and all of those things from our
Uh-huh.
childhood. And he's just like, it's so wild. It's such a different movie experience. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's like terrible, but they think it's
That's
like cool?
That's actually what my husband says. He's like, why would I ever watch a VHS? It just looks worse."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that they like the novelty of it because actually, even both of them, they found a Totoro video
Yeah.
this weekend, and Studio Ghibli is like their Disney. They were brought up on it. They just we've loved every movie, and so Totoro is like maybe one of their favorites. And they found that on VHS, and they were so excited.
Oh my gosh. It's life changing.
It
You
is.
know, the VH, but seeing a young person find it and think it's so cool, you're like, what is happening? Just
Yeah.
makes me feel old. That's my problem. Eh,
Yeah.
we're
Me
all headed
too.
in that direction.
But yeah.
It's so true. It's happening before we know it.
To the best
Successes
of
and
us.
failures. Do you have like that pit and peak from doing this whole business that you can kind of share if someone's thinking about this or going, wait, I could do that?
Yeah. And I get a lot of people who think like, wait, I could do that. I definitely always warn people or try to that like this is a full-time job. Like
Literally.
this is not like a side hustle type, or at least to the extent that I'm doing it. I
Yeah.
do not see how it wouldn't be full-time.
Full-time job. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have the time, yeah, go for it. And I do get a lot of people that'll ask if I teach how to do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
And the answer is not really, not because I am like trying to be gatekeepy or anything like that. I just plain don't have time. If I want to keep painting, which I do, there's just not that many hours in the day. And I do feel like following all of my socials, including the group, it's basically like a blueprint. Like, I mean,
how to
you
do
would,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I think I pretty much am teaching it, but it takes a lot of time.
Mhm.
That's my number one thing that I would tell people is just be prepared for that.
Yeah, and you have a process, and it obviously is like on like 10 times speed. So, you know,
Yes.
that would be difficult to replicate for anyone. I love
You
that you're honest about that though.
Yeah, you did say successes and failures. And I feel like I can kind of like right size like my sales that week to however it is that I'm feeling like I've
Mm,
mentioned how I've had surgeries or I'm a mom, so sometimes things just happen.
sure.
And this week actually, for example, we're headed to Wichita tomorrow and we'll be there for the bulk of the week. So I'm needing to shift around my schedule so that we can accommodate, what we're doing as a family. And it's a great job in that regard because I can move things around. But I can also just like make a smaller picture if I want a less work heavy week. I'm still consistent, but I just don't put quite as much in. So if you ever see
Yeah.
a picture that's really light, that's because I'm taking a week
You're
off or,
busy. Yeah.
I'm scaling back.
Which is the
And
beauty of being your own
yeah,
boss.
yes. And I think that kind of relates to like successes and failures because if there's like a crunchy time where it's like I feel like I I don't know, I've just not been selling as much as I wanted to the past couple weeks or whatever. I can like also kind of scale my pictures, I don't know, smaller or bigger depending on like I need a Sunday sale because I'm not like hitting the targets that I wanted to hit or whatever. I can scale it to whatever size I need it to be.
So nice. And it makes it, totally yours, and scalable to what you need for what your life looks like. But again, I think you're giving good advice though. Like this isn't for the faint of heart. Can you tell us like a crazy story of something really wacky that happened? Anything that's like big time learning lesson?
Oh, I mean, I feel like I have a learning lesson every single week. There's this moment in time where I'm out there in the garage and I'm sweaty and I've got like four projects going at once and like the legs are not going on this chair quite right and I'm so mad and I'm like usually calling my dad and being like, "Why won't this cabinet light up? I feel like I know enough about electrical and everything looks right. Why isn't it working?" So, the story is different every week, but every week there is a problem to be solved. And I'm pretty good at like rolling with it. But as far as like an actual crash and burn failure, I don't know. I'm like a showman until the very end. Like I
Make it
don't think
look okay. Yeah.
yes, I don't think people would ever even know which weeks my failures are
Yeah.
because I don't know. I
You got to
make
make
sure
it
you
look
don't.
right. I love
Yeah.
that. The show
Yeah.
must go on. I
The show
mean,
must go
I
on.
keep,
Mhm.
you said that once, but it's like keeps coming to my mind. Parents are close by then?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Your parents are close by, so
Oh
dad
yeah.
can come help. That's very
Yeah.
nice.
Well, he's not really close enough to like drive over and help, but I've like definitely FaceTimed and
Troubleshoot.
showed him
Yeah.
like what could possibly be wrong.
I love
Yeah. It doesn't happen too often, but it has happened.
Okay, when you're going to Wichita, do you ever go through Hayes?
I have before.
There is
Yes.
an ARC thrift store there. And the story behind that is that the gal who runs it, her name is Kathy McAdoo. Shout out Kathy. I'll let her know about you and see if you stop by. You can,
I think that's why this sounds so familiar. I think I've been there because I
you
used to
must
live in
have.
Wichita. So
She
I've been to
runs
all the
it.
area thrift
Yeah. And
stores.
she runs it exactly like we run here because she was here for like 20 years before she left. And so she
Oh,
helps the ARC chapter there and she runs the thrift store for them.
oh,
Great
that's
lady.
cool.
It's a smaller thrift store than like our 30,000 square feet footprint here
Uh-huh.
in Colorado, but she does an excellent job. She runs it exactly like our model and she's
Oh,
been
that's
highly
cool.
successful. So if you go in, tell Kathy, that you
Okay.
know us. She's
Hey, I've been
amazing.
on the pod. I'll tell her that.
She'll absolutely love that. And I rarely get to interview people from Kansas because you guys don't have a lot of like, what's the vibe in Kansas? Do you guys do meetups? Like, where are your influencers?
I've actually I just moved to Lawrence, Kansas, and there
Okay,
are a few influencers here.
sure.
I actually moved like right down the street from one, and just
What are
randomly
the
our kids
chances?
became I know. Our kids became friends, and then I kept hearing like, "Oh,
Oh
she
my
makes
God.
dresses and she works online." And it took
Amazing.
6 months to like actually meet her. But her name is Jasmine from Tattered Pixie, and she designs like dresses. And so now we're trying to figure out how to like work together, how to,
Yes.
and we're working on something we're going to release maybe midsummer. But yeah,
So in
so,
love with that.
I think I'm like a really bad person to ask though, because I am like so locked into what I'm doing every week that
Mhm.
I think, I have to place a little bit of the blame on myself for just like not necessarily knowing or reaching out to other influencers to work
What are
in.
the
But Jasmine,
chances
like,
she, yeah, your
yeah, she
neighbor.
fell into my lap. So it's like, this is great. This is meant to be. We got to work on something together.
Yeah. And what a great name. What did you call it? The
Yeah.
Tattered Pixie?
Tattered Pixie, and she does a lot of like Rinfest fairy inspired, and
My
she makes
God.
all the dresses herself. She
Yeah.
makes wings. She makes all kinds of things, and
Oh, that's
that's
incredible.
that's been fun. Yeah, so that's been cool.
Does she thrift some of her items, like source any of her materials?
No, I don't think she sources a lot of them at thrift stores. I mean, I think it's not that she's not open to it, but she dyes a lot of things, and so she kind of needs to know
Oh,
like what her fabrics are going to do
yeah.
before she spends all the time doing that. So I
So
think a lot of her stuff
fascinating.
she works on. Yeah.
And these makers, like these artists, all of these communities are so intertwined. I love that we
Mhm.
get to kind of be a voyeur to all of you guys doing all this incredible stuff. So thank you for letting
Yeah.
us
And
into
well,
that
and Kansas has an incredible lot of artists.
maker.
I have
Mhm.
met a ton of makers. Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
always
have
talk about, I used to work at City Arts in Wichita, and we had these nights where they would open up the entire building, and from the bottom to the top of the building, like the bottom was full of like painters and sculptors, and then the second
how
level
cool.
had, yeah, I mean, we had silversmithing, we had people working on looms, glass blowing, like we had
So cool.
ceramics, everything, and everyone working together just like filled this building with such a cool energy. I love those days.
Yeah. The maker communities are just, and they're
Mhm.
getting bigger and they're just so vibrant and they're thinking about sustainability, just like you are, that it's becoming
Yes.
a priority and really growing. What can you tell us about that? What are you finding in terms of people caring about where their materials come from?
I think it's becoming way more the norm to think about all aspects of it. Things that I never thought of as a painter, just an artist like 15 years ago that I do think about all the time now
Mhm.
are like, where does the acrylic paint go once I
Wow.
wash my brushes
Down the
and I
drain.
don't want
Yes.
it to go in the dirt. So yeah, no, I mean I feel like I'm very, very mindful of everything. And then actually specific to thrifting, this is the one I think about a lot. I will probably never make prints of my artwork. People ask me all the time. I have a comment right now on one of my videos that has like, I think like 250 likes about how I should make puzzles, but I just can't do it because I'm the
Yeah.
one thrifting and I know where puzzles go.
Yes.
And I
You
know
know
where
exactly where
prints
they go.
go. And I
Mhm.
don't want to be out there thrifting someday, 15 years from now, and find my own puzzles and prints in the thrift stores. And I don't blame people for cycling stuff in and off their walls or anything like that. It's not like I don't, but I cannot, in good conscience, add to it. So I'm
Understand.
very mindful of where everything goes, I think, and in a much different way than what I ever would have been
Mhm.
before I started all this.
It's fascinating. And now that it's becoming this like trend, I hope it's a lifestyle, not just a trend.
I think it is. I mean, because like fabric content is another
Mhm.
great. I think people pay so much more attention to that. Like if I find a cotton blanket and put it in one of my vignettes, people are like, "Oh my gosh, 100% cotton." I
It's
mean,
cotton.
it's just getting harder to find, and it's more expensive if it's new. It's still at the thrift stores, and I don't know. Yeah, I hate to think of it getting thrown away if it doesn't get bought. So I do hope that people become more mindful of it and get out there and find it.
Yeah. And you're sharing it and you're keeping these things alive and giving them another chapter, which is cool. I mean,
Hmm.
it really is a fun place to be to watch this change. And I hope it just keeps us all in business for many more years to come. That's my goal.
Me too. Yeah.
Tell us about this life-size Lorax. First of all, if you don't know what the Sneed is and you haven't seen the Lorax movie, where have you been? I asked someone that today. I was like, oh my God, I get to talk about the Lorax today. And they were like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't remember that movie. I'm like, what? This is such an amazing movie. Taylor Swift was in it.
I loved the Lorax. I did watch it. I that thing is such a funny I was just like cruising around on Marketplace one day. He was listed for $35 plus a case of my choice of beer.
What?
I know. I
That's a
know.
person you want to meet.
And I don't even know if this is a story that I should really be telling because I mean, I Facebook stalked him. He looked plenty old enough to be having beer. But yeah, I did just get him a case of my choice. I think I got him Bush Latte, dropped it off in front of his house. It was honestly, I was like a little bit creeped out. So I was like, so you're just going to have it on the porch and I just drop off cash and beer and then go. And
My
he was
gosh.
like, yep, that's fine. So that's how it happened. And then I got him back home and I donated him to our local library at that time.
Oh, is it
Uh,
still sitting in your library? That's amazing.
no, because then the kids like I think some like high school
Destroyed it.
kids got a hold of it, scraped off his eye, broke off his limbs. So
Oh,
right now, currently, he is actually back with me because I offered to fix him and I haven't fixed him yet. I need to do a video about like a Lorax surgery where he'll
yes.
like, get him all put back together.
And
But
I
I
don't
do
know if you
have
could ever
him.
sell it. Like this is now,
No, I don't think I'll ever sell
yeah,
him.
you
He's
got to
mine.
keep it in the family, put it in
He's
your
mine.
trust. It's one of
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, he is random, but
Ah, I love those kind of random things though. That's
hey,
what makes thrifting
yeah,
fun,
you
secondhand
got to have a
shopping
little
fun.
bit of weird, and he's my garage weird.
Yes. And
Yes.
also I've got a show note here that I love. Sunshine called me specifically about this morning. She's like, be sure you talk about Christmas time. So a sale that you weren't necessarily thinking of give us the
Oh, I
background.
did. I told her a story of what she had asked me was about community and building community. And
Mhm.
I told her a story that I think is probably like one of the most one of the most important stories to me that has kind of come about. I don't know. I'll tell it. How about that?
Yes.
So what she's talking about is there was a time where we were getting really close to Christmas, and one of my group members kind of did the math and looked at the calendar ahead and realized that my sale was going to happen on Christmas Day. And this person just she was reaching out because she was worried. She was like, I don't have a lot of family around, and
Gosh, appointment viewing. Yes.
yeah, she was like, "You're what I do on Fridays, and it's okay if you're not doing a sale. I totally understand, but like, just could you let me know because I just kind of want to plan around that." And I realized in that moment, like, this has become a little bigger than just it. That I guess that's when I realized it was a community because I thought about that message for like 2 full days. I called my mom. I talked to my husband Zach. I talked to a couple different people, like just how do I do a sale on Christmas Day? I feel like that's like annoying. I'm gonna seem like some like miser, like giving all your money. It's Christmas, and I'm not trying to be Scroogey, but I have to do something because she's looking forward to it. And
Yes.
so I landed on this idea of making a sale, the same vignette kind of style that I usually do, but everything in the picture is free. And it's not a lot of it was like donated art kits. I had told a couple people what I planned to do, and so they donated a couple of art kits. Some of it was just stuff that, I've picked up at garage sales for little or nothing. And I just thought,
Yeah.
this would be great. I'm not
But
out
how
much.
special.
But how special because at least I'm still here and I'm still doing it. And it's not that hard because I can schedule it ahead of time. So even if I'm not paying attention in that moment on Christmas, I can still do the sale. And so
Yeah.
that way she had something to do. I think that was a pivotal moment for me as far as like realizing I didn't know what I was building. And I thought at first, I was just selling things. But what it actually I mean, it's that, but it's not just that. It's also like, I don't know. I found like the other people who like weird things and like vintage things and like art and like I found my friends.
Yeah, it's a
So
family, totally a community. What was the response from your community when you did this?
they loved it and I actually still do it. This last year I changed it up and instead of doing a vignette with secondhand stuff, I painted and I gave away free
Oh,
paintings.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah, something always happens. And now, of course, not Friday doesn't always fall on Christmas Day, but I
Sure.
always have a Christmas sale where things are free. So,
Amazing.
and I kind of do that in honor of her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Mhm.
love that. And she probably tunes in every single year without fail.
I think she's since passed away, but
Oh no. Oh,
no, I mean, it is sad. So yeah, I do think about her every Christmas.
yeah. What a great tribute and honor to her. I love it.
Mhm.
I mean, not that isn't a great behind the scenes story, but is there any like behind the scenes that nobody knows and you think about every time you're getting ready every week and you're like, God, if they only knew, that you can share with our listeners? Because someone out there is going to go, she's got a secret. Tell us.
I actually kind of think there's at least one of those every single week. I mean, to some extent, something, but I don't know if I can think of anything off the top of my head that really
Well,
comes to
one of your
mind.
posts that I love then, while you think about that you have a love of cat butts, and I do too. I think that is so hilarious. When we hang up, I will send you someone's bumper sticker, and I literally died. I took it this weekend, and I was like, oh my God, Elizabeth would love this. So
Okay, well, I thought of
I'll
one
send
of
it to
those
you.
things that actually does relate to cats.
Yes,
So I sell cat stuff all the time, and I love cat stuff.
huge. Yeah.
I'm sitting right next to a giant painting of a cat that I did. I'm touching it. I see a cat over there. I have so much cat stuff, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't like. I don't love cats. I don't. I just don't
More
love.
of a dog person.
I'm not even a dog person. I don't like extra messes in. My husband says that maybe this means I don't have a soul. And this is like very embarrassing because I feel like people probably think that, I
You're
am
a
a
cat
cat or a
lover.
dog
Yeah.
person. Yes, but it's a charade. I don't actually want to have any
That
animals.
is the funniest thing I've ever
Keeping
heard
my
ever.
kids alive is like all I can do. I
Yeah.
just am not trying to add pets to the load. Also, the hair. I don't want
Oh
it on
my
my
gosh.
inventory.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess that's like a secret. Don't tell people. And also
But you
don't
do
judge
some
me.
funny cat content. I kind of am here for it. It's hilarious.
I do have funny and I even have a cat. Well, it's my husband's cat, but we have a cat. She's so old though. She's like 22 years old.
Oh,
And like
that's not going to last much longer.
I
Yikes.
know, 20, don't tell him. He thinks she's gonna live forever. Or maybe like 21. We've been saying she's 20 for like 2 years now. So she's gotta be older than 20. But
Yikes. Yeah.
but
Yikes.
yeah, she's a pretty old lady. She pretty much just like sits in one spot.
Cat lady. Oh, so you're
Mhm.
secretly not a cat lady, but it appears maybe like you are. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
great secret. I can live
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
CBS Sunday Morning. Tell us what this
Yes.
is all about. I watched the episode, had this come up. It's so fun. I mean, who
So
doesn't love a CBS Sunday Morning moment?
it's so cool. And like since then, I've seen people on CBS Sunday Morning that I'm just like, what? I'm on the same
Literally,
show?
like icons go on that. Icons.
Yes. I know. I know. I actually feel that way about this show too, because
Oh,
some of the episodes that I've
what?
watched, Dana from Sunworn Vintage, and
She's
also
so great.
Mexicitch,
Yes. Oh,
Leanne, I
she's
think.
great.
Okay,
We're
so
doing the international tablescape design program with
I
her.
saw, yeah, I saw
That's it.
a blurb about that. I mean, so both of these shows are well, and these people, like, these are people that I started following years ago, like before I even had an
Yeah.
online presence. And
Oh,
I remember specifically finding Dana and thinking, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
they're so
That's so cool.
talented.
And that's her
Yes.
job. I'm so jealous. And then how do I do that?
Mhm.
Yeah, and now here I'm on this show. But CBS Sunday Morning, much
Amazing.
the same. I actually if you watch the episode, the other woman that I was on there with, her
Yeah.
name's Chris Grandmontagne. She has a studio in Topeka, 414, and she actually they asked her first, and I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how they got her name, because it was in the same interview as like Cherish. They were talking about like the
Mhm.
secondhand market right after COVID. It was 2021. And I think they were probably just trying to find like a variety of people. So they found Chris, and then Chris gave them my name. I think they had somebody else in mind that dropped out. I ended up on CBS Sunday
Whatever.
Morning.
It's a
Like,
win.
yeah,
It's a
whatever.
win.
It is a win. But yeah, that was so fun. And I was in no way prepared for that. Like, I didn't even have an Instagram really. Like, my Instagram was just my art, and it had
Wow.
nothing to do. My group, I wasn't even sharing about my
Mhm.
group on Instagram at all yet. I started all that afterwards, but
Did
that
they
was a
kind of
whirlwind.
inspire that next step?
Yeah, because there was like a TV producer even reached out afterwards and like mentioned doing a show, which
Yes.
that's not a thing I've told anyone. So if
Ah,
you're a listener,
we love it behind the scenes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I just like, I had never thought before about doing anything like that. And yeah, so then I was like, well, you know, and then of course that never came to fruition, but I was thinking, you know, if he thought a whole show could be made, then I can at least be posting on Instagram and showing
Yes.
people a little bit about what I'm doing behind. I can at least get my online presence to be at a higher
And now
level.
look at it. Have you
Yeah,
reached back out to that producer?
I did actually not too
Good.
long ago. He's in kind of a different branding, something else now, like a different wing of it.
Sure.
But I'm not like actively pursuing actually so many people have told me I should go on that thrifting
Yeah.
show with Laura Spencer.
Yes.
And I haven't even watched a whole episode yet, but I did follow online and I need to look into it more. I don't know, I just get in my head like are we sure I could do this? I don't know.
100%.
I feel like I'm like a trash rack. I'm like a scrap. I'm making the scraps look good, but I don't know if I can do what they can do.
That's what it's about, though. You
That's
got
true.
to.
That's true.
And you
Yeah.
have such a following, you know. I think that's what's so interesting is like that's not
Yeah.
what you set out to do, to have this big following. It found
So
you,
what-
and
You know
There
what's
we go.
funny is actually I didn't even have a big I moved a year ago and the Facebook group has been sitting at like 20,000 for quite a while. And that actually, so that I've had the biggest following there. But like all the other ones, like I started posting to my Facebook Reels very literally 2 months ago. My
Oh,
full
wow.
following on Facebook Reels, maybe not even 2 months, maybe it was a
That's
month and a half.
crazy.
My whole entire following on Facebook Reels has happened in the last like 6 weeks, which I
Amazing.
do think is nuts. Yeah. Because I just, with the move, I don't know. I'm very feast or famine. I'm trying to really stay on it this time, but just, I don't know. So far, I've not been super consistent on. Now, I'm always consistent in my Facebook group, but I'm just not always super consistent about posting to all the other socials. But like I said, I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
And so Instagram has grown too. I think I was sitting at 22,000 followers, I think, for like years, and then I finally started posting again.
Yeah,
And so
you're
now
poking up to 40,000.
I've almost doubled, and that too has happened in the last 6 weeks because I have not really posted into very consistently until
Yeah.
now. So I think if I keep doing it, I could probably keep growing. I'm telling myself that, like, keep going.
Yes, good
But
things are ahead.
good
Can you
things are
point
ahead.
to, was there like a video that like went viral for you? I didn't look at the TikTok numbers close enough to, was there like that
No,
one video?
not really.
Oh,
I mean, there's not like until now they have since. I've always had it in my head. If you, and this is actually great advice to anybody wanting to start out too. If you do it and if you are consistent and if you are yourself, people will find you.
they will-
I do think that if I've always had this thought in my head that like if I'm consistent,
Mhm.
it will start to work for me. I just
Sure.
hadn't yet been very consistent. Yeah. And I think that that's good advice. I think that's good advice because I think anyone, if you're consistently doing it, it can grow for you too.
Mhm.
It's just about doing it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
getting up every day and making it happen.
And even on the days where you just really don't want to.
Yeah. I think you do a good job too. And tell me if this is a big part of the job, like commenting when people ask you a question, you respond, you engage.
Yes, I do try to do that.
All right. Unicorn item. Can you share with us one of the coolest things you've ever found when you're sourcing that you're most proud of, whether you kept it or resold it?
One of the coolest things. I find so many cool things, and I actually don't really, I let myself keep them for a time. But I have a lot of like, I don't know. This is going to sound so strange to people, I feel like, but I feel like every single thing that I own, I really only own until it becomes part of a vignette. And that's like really everything I own, everything I've painted, everything now.
Incredible.
I mean, obviously I have some like heirloom pieces that like I wouldn't get rid of, but very few things are safe with me
That
because
makes you like a minimalist. I kind of love that.
I mean, kind of, but like obviously I'm not a
But you
minimalist,
can
but
purge.
I don't have like a big strong attachment to a lot of things, because I think that's
Great.
kind of something that started to happen to me as I got into this. Like there will be a rug that I just really, really, really love. But if it's the rug that goes in a picture, then
It has to
it's
go.
gotta go for it's
Wow.
this is show business. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of, the show must go on, and the art is the most important part to me. So I have a few items that are really, really cool. And I will enjoy them for the time that I have them. And then somehow I'll just know when it's the right time to put
That's
them in a
the
picture.
best
And
answer we've ever gotten to that question. That's
yeah.
so freeing, because so many people get caught up in their death pile, or they love an item, but if they love it
Yeah.
too much,
No,
it's
I'm
like,
kind of the
let it
opposite
go.
of that, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
refreshing. Then it's even harder to answer the next question then. What are you looking to manifest the next time you're sourcing? Or is it just
I
anybody
wait until the
can?
things find me, to be
Oh,
honest. Yeah.
that's awesome. Oh, I
Hmm.
love that. I wait for the things to find me. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. What's next for you? What's the big 2026 now? Oh God. Are we there yet?
Uh, in
7
the
grand.
next year, I really hope to figure out how to get a little better at YouTube, because I have a lot of people who would like to watch me set up for the
Yes.
pictures. And
Yes.
yeah, and so far I've been pretty good about, like, especially the last 6 weeks when I've actually started posting again.
Sure.
I have been really good about doing like a time lapse of myself setting up, and then, I'll flip to a shot of all of it done. And I'll make a few like 1 minute long, so not very long, but like
Mhm.
process videos. But I think I would love to have that as a goal, like just get a little bit better to where I can release like 1 20-minute episode per week on a YouTube channel that's just like, here's what I did this week and why I did it. And then, some of those problems that I'm wanting to solve, where I'm all sweaty and I've got 3 things going at once. Like, I think that would be probably interesting for people to watch.
Oh, they'd love it behind the
And yeah,
scenes.
so hopefully
Yeah.
hopefully a YouTube channel.
Okay. What about Whatnot? Have you used that? Is that a thing for you? I know
People
you,
have asked me
yeah.
about Whatnot
Just to add
before.
one more thing to your already very full
That's
plate.
that's the thing, is like,
Yeah.
I just already committed to this Facebook group. The
Yeah.
people in my group they would be devastated if I feel like, or maybe that's only in my head, but I feel like that would be upsetting for them if
Sure.
I cheated on them and sold things on the side,
True.
because everything I find goes to the Facebook group. And
Wow.
I started that, so now I'm gonna finish it. So
Yes.
no, I probably won't ever do Whatnot. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'd probably be fine at it. I think I've heard that one's more like auction format. Is
Yeah,
that
it
right?
is. Yep.
I
And
don't
it's,
love that,
yeah,
because with the following that I have at 30,000, which, and I know on Whatnot, some people have way, way more than that. I would be worried that items would sell for more than what I'm comfortable
interesting.
charging
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
definitely a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like
Interesting.
I have to, I don't want to feel gross about it.
Yeah.
I want people to pay the $12 that I think this is worth, and not more. I don't want it
Yeah.
to get silly.
And you've got a following, you've got all those things. So it's like, at what point is it
Right.
just being greedy? So that's a
Yeah.
really great perspective to have on it. Anyone besides your friend Jasmine at, not Jasmine, what was her name?
Yeah.
Yes,
Jasmine at
Jasmine,
Tattered
Tattered
Pixie.
Pixies. Anybody on social it's like super inspiring to you right now that we should be following?
Well, if you're not following the people that I already mentioned who've been on your podcast,
Mexicitch, yeah, all the girls.
yeah, absolutely. I follow, my feed it's a definitely an interesting mix of like art and vintage.
Mhm.
And those are other creators where I feel like they're kind of in that in-between space with me, like art and vintage. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely always really interested in people who are, making art out of vintage if they can, because that's just fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I don't know. And actually, I do wish I spent more time like scrolling. I could like probably send you a list
Of all
later,
your
but
faves,
off the top of
yes.
my head, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I had more time to spend just like scrolling through other people's, but I don't know.
No,
I feel like
you're in your
sometimes I'm really
garage
lucky to just,
sweating. Yes.
yeah, I'm posting, and that's what I can handle right now.
Yeah. And people are here for it. I mean, I love seeing your comments, your engagement. And I always say that this podcast is devoted to like normalizing shopping secondhand, but it's people like you who are doing it out loud online as a maker, as a vintage lover, as someone who supports sustainability, you're going to keep this industry going for years to come. So we thank you for your service. Please keep doing it.
Thanks. Yeah, I definitely will. No plans to stop.
Yes. And
I hope that I can encourage other people to do it too.
absolutely.
I do feel like I think of it as in a very like abundance mindset kind of way. There's so much of it. And, if you've ever been to like Goodwill on the day where they're packing it all up to go to the bins, it's like so much of it is not getting purchased. Like I know sometimes the tone online can be like the good stuff's getting taken by the resellers. And like,
no,
I get that. I get it, but I don't actually get it for me. I mean, I get why people are saying it, but there's so much stuff. Like, have you ever been to the last day of an estate sale where the people are freaking out? Like, how do I get rid of I don't even want to take all this to donate. I mean, there's so much stuff out there. So much stuff that like we all need to be making better use of it.
Yeah,
and
it's overwhelming. It really is.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
I guess it's a good problem to have, but we need people like you to continue to spread the word and make it cool, right? When I first started here, will be my 15th year with ARC. We were worried, we were nervous, and now Thrift, it's like, I can't throw a rock and not hit someone who loves shopping thrift stores.
Yeah. I think that's great because I think that that's what saves us from our own trash pile.
100%.
Like, I think, reusing the things and making them cool is like everybody should be doing it if they can.
Yeah. I think the thing I'm taking away from this podcast is you're going to inspire people to turn their stuff quicker. And I think that's really one of the biggest challenges people face. And you put a lens on it being possible to do. Get rid of it. Get it out.
I hope so. Yeah, I guess. I mean, and I don't know. I think especially if you're first starting out, like, because when I very first started, I started this whole business with like $20. I didn't have a lot of extra money to spend, but I thought if I can take this $20 and make it into $50 fast, even if I'm giving people a good deal, whatever, then I have $50. And once I have $50, I can turn that into $100.
Yeah.
And then so on, and you don't have to get the most possible money for every single item in order to be successful. Like that's not even close to my goal.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I guess, I don't know if that's going to be the right thing for everyone, but it has been for me.
Yeah. It's definitely how we run our thrift stores. I love it when people are like, you're overpriced. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're so not. And it's just so funny. Like they think we have time to look up every item when we're pushing 7,000 new items to the floor every single day. We don't have time for that. It's a numbers game. I'm with you. Get it in, and people will stick around if you give them a good deal.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of the space that I've tried to operate in. Like give people good enough deals that they want to come back. I think that people appreciate that I don't have any kind of auction format because they know, I mean, it might be hard to get the $12 vase, but the price isn't changing. It's going to be $12.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And if I'm ever coming up short, usually what I do is paint because my paintings, I'm charging
such a great mix.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm charging like still not, I wouldn't say any of my painting prices are like what you could ever call high, but I can make some money off of paintings.
Yeah. And that's what you love. You get to do all the things you love and add in this little vintage twist. I love it.
Yes.
Please keep doing it. As we wrap up every podcast, we love it to do a shout out to Dolly Parton. Now, you have an exceptionally close tie to the Queen in so many ways. Tell us all the ways, because the more I dug into your content, the more I'm like, this must be how this came up on our feed.
Dressed up as Dolly. Yeah, I've dressed up as Dolly to go see Dolly. Yeah, I went to Mississippi a couple years ago and saw her with a friend. Yeah, we actually drove. I actually also brought this up from my hoard downstairs. I have the Dolly doll.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, of course, meeting the Queen would be amazing. So Dolly, if you're watching, I'd love to be you, but but yeah, I just, actually at the risk of like also getting maybe a little mushy, I just feel like the way Dolly runs her business and her life and her mindset, you can just learn so much. And you asked earlier about, me commenting back when people ask me questions. I mean, I'm not successful because of just me. I'm successful because people are willing to look at my sales every week and, jump through all these hoops that I've
Amazing.
made for them and like continue to support me. And so I know that those relationships are built on making the time, if at all possible, but to treat every single person that you possibly can, as well as you can. And
Mhm.
it just comes back for you. It just does. And so I do try to make time as much as I can. And I'm not going to say that I am able to get to every comment. Some of them I feel like they're hidden and I just don't see them. And I'll go back through, weeks later and be like, somebody asked me a question and I
I
didn't see it.
missed
I
it.
feel so
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah, but I do try. And I feel like I've learned that from Dolly. Like
Mhm.
Dolly always answers graciously. She always treats people with respect, and no matter who they
Who
are.
they
And I
are.
just
Yeah.
love it. I just love it.
Oh,
I love my Dolly doll.
I hope she's listening after all these years.
Yeah, someday if she ever was listening, I would tell her thank you, because I feel like all
Oh,
of
I love that.
well, and I've loved her for years, so before I was even doing this, but a lot of my like core personality traits, you do those projects when you're a kid about like who's your hero. My hero's Dolly, and she still is, because she's so, yeah, she's just such a beautiful human, and I hope to
Yeah.
be like that. So I think about her every time I like something in the world happens and I donate a portion of the sales or whatever. I think about how would Dolly, like what would
Give
Dolly
back.
do to handle
Yeah.
this? And yeah, I mean, I just do. I love
It's
her.
amazing. And even when you sign up for your Facebook group, your private Facebook group, you have a
Yeah.
nod.
Now,
What?
my thinking behind that, actually, any questions will work for like those bots,
Yeah.
because I mean, so you need to have a couple questions. My questions are mostly just kind of like they're silly, but yeah, I mean, Dolly.
Yeah.
Do you
I
like
mean,
Dolly? I just
it's
want to know. And I
it's
actually do read the answers, because sometimes people will like write a story about like a memory that they have with
they do.
Dolly. And I'm
Oh my
like,
God, I
yeah,
love
I mean,
that.
randomly. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get a lady who's, oh, Dolly actually held my baby once when I was, yeah. I mean,
What?
that's a story I've heard. I don't think that one came. In fact, I can't remember where I heard that one, but yeah,
That's
one time it was
incredible.
either in a comment section or maybe it was through answering the group, but a woman said that she was on or helping with the Porter Wagner show or something, but she had brought her baby to the set. And this
Dolly
was
held her
before
baby.
Dolly was like a huge, huge deal.
That's
And
amazing.
so Dolly was like, "Oh, here, I'll hold your baby," and then let her go and do. And like, of course, Dolly did. Of course, Dolly
Of
came in
course she
clutch for
did.
a new mom,
I
like
mean,
because that's how she lives, and I
yes.
just love that about her.
There's no
So
surprise. I mean,
yeah.
oh, I just love this. I'm going to Pigeon Forge this year. We're going in August. I can't
Oh,
wait.
that's so exciting.
I'm like crossing my fingers that maybe she shows up at Dollywood
Oh,
before we
yeah. I
go.
want to go to Dollywood, and I keep thinking like, oh, maybe she'll be there.
You never
Yeah.
know.
You
And
never
she's
know.
sticking close to home right now. So not for a
Mhm.
good reason, but you never know. We'll cross our
Yeah.
fingers. But I love it that you're devoted to her in that way. And that, I mean, literally, even the painting. Do you have the painting that you did, the bedazzled painting, or did you sell it?
I actually do have it. It's on a jacket, and that's what I wore to see her.
Can you
So it's
show
on the
us?
back of a thrifted jacket.
I am dying. Okay, you painted this and
Yes,
then
and
bedazzled it.
glittered. Yeah.
Did strangers try and buy it from you at the show?
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Did strangers try and buy it from you at the show? I would.
Oh, actually, yeah, I did have a girl offer. It looked a little better then, because
Oh
some of
my
my
God, so
gemstones
great.
have fallen off, but
Incredible.
I did have a lady want to buy it.
She is the great unifier, our queen. It's just no one has a negative word to say about her. And who can say that
Yeah.
about anyone living today, you know?
Yeah, I love that too. Because it can be also hard to, put yourself out there online in a way that feels like who you are as an actual person
Yeah.
too. And I think Dolly is, I don't know, probably one of the like most important things I've learned from Dolly is that like you don't ever have to like performatively say anything. You can show people, and if you're paying attention to Dolly, you know exactly where she stands on absolutely everything.
Yep.
But you are paying attention because she's not telling you her
She
values.
doesn't
She's
have to say
showing
it.
you what
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
through donating and like
Action.
actually making real change.
Mhm.
And I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to be a little like Dolly every day.
Ugh,
And-
here's the problem. People don't understand sometimes the connection with Dolly. And I'm
yeah.
not sure I've had a guest who really, understands why it's so important to talk about her in this way. And on a
Mhm.
podcast that talks about shopping secondhand, why does it connect?
Yeah.
But it
Why does it
does.
matter?
People
Yeah.
don't really get it. So thank you for getting it just so easily. You're already living it. It's just a coincidence that we found you. And I'm convinced that we somehow cyber stalked you, which we do all of our guests,
Yeah.
and saw the Dolly content, and that's definitely why it got our way. So
Yeah,
whatever it
probably
is.
that could be. I'm
Yeah.
always like kind of looking for another reason to dress up like I even like paint in a dimple, like all her dimples, and like, oh man, I love it. I've even thought like maybe if I just woke up and painted dimples every single day, then I look just a little more like
Oh
Dolly.
my gosh. And people believe and trust her in a way that's just inspirational and aspirational. So I love what you're doing, Elizabeth. Please keep it up. You're an absolute delight. And stay in touch with us because something big's coming. You can just feel it. Please let us know, if
Yeah.
it's more Spencer or something that's more just all about what you're doing in your front yard once a week. Please, keep
Yeah.
us posted. We'd love to announce it on the show. Hopefully you get some additional followers from this. And, if you ever
Yeah.
meet someone in real life that's like, oh, we found you from the Get Thrifty podcast, please let us know. We'd love to
That
hear.
would be really cool. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, okay. I love it. You've made my day. Tell our listeners once again how they find you, how they follow you, send all their love, and hopefully buy something from you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Facebook, I'm Elizabeth Daniel Decor and or Elizabeth Daniel Decor. There is a little dash in there, but you don't have to type that out. And then I am on Instagram, Elizabeth Daniel Art and Decor, TikTok, Elizabeth Daniel Art and Decor, everywhere online.
Easy peasy. I love it.
I'm even
Thanks
on
for
Threads,
joining
but
us.
I don't really know how to work it.
None of us do. It's just a little box at the bottom of our Instagram page.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks, Elizabeth. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
And Thrifties, thanks so much for tuning in once again to the Get Thrifty podcast. Reminder, save our pod and leave us a 5-star review about how funny, creative, and smart we are. And if you're part of this unique thrift culture, we'd love to have you on this podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Podcasts with Maggie. And as always, please follow ARC on Instagram and YouTube at ARC Thrift. And now on TikTok at ARC Thrift Stores. Thanks so much and have a wonderful week.
Hunt for it, find it, make it your own. It's the Get Thrifty Podcast.